back to the Grit Strength Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Ware. I'm coming at you again Friday, a little 5-minute Friday, and want to talk about a statement that I heard when I was working down with the IU men's basketball team this summer. It was one of their coaching points, something that, again, had a pretty profound effect on me and something that I really liked as soon as I heard it. And it's, your talent is the floor, your character is the ceiling. And I believe I posted about this a while back on our Instagram. But to me, that's extremely important to think about in everything that we do, especially in athletics, which again is where most of our conversation is circled around. There are a lot of really talented athletes out there. Some pan out, some don't. You hear about a lot of guys and girls that were touted as being very highly talented, highly gifted, had a lot of potential, and they didn't really ever become anything that great. They may have underachieved as far as, how far they went with their respective athletic career, outside of athletics, whatever it might have been. When I hear that statement, when I think about what that really means, talent is what you're given. You could never work on your game, never work on your craft, never work on the things that you need to for your job or for running your own respective business, and you're going to be that talented your whole life. You're always going to have that talent in your back pocket. Some people are very talented, some people are sort of talented, and then there's some that really aren't that talented at all. Everybody can work at certain levels to, again, raise that level of potential, raise their talent level, and build on what they're given. I think that character is described a lot as what's seen or what you do behind closed doors, what you do when nobody's watching. That's one of the ways that people define character. To me, that's kind of how I look at this and how I want all of you to look at it is, what are you doing on your own, behind closed doors, in an empty gym, maybe in a gym with just your trainer or a couple teammates, whatever it is. What are you doing when nobody's watching? Because it's all well and good and it's cool to do things when there's, again, a bunch of people in the stands, but you have to prepare for those moments, like we talked about earlier this week, far in advance of when it actually happens. That's part of your character. So your character is going to determine where your ceiling is at. You can raise that ceiling further and further, higher and higher. You can raise your potential higher and higher with the things that you do on your own, with the amount of work that you're willing to put in. If you're not going to put any work in, you're going to be kind of stuck with whatever talent level you were given or gifted with. If you can work, you're going to improve yourself, again, in whatever it is that you do. It can be at work, at home, in your relationships. It can be how you lead people, how you, again, run your business, or how you compete as an athlete, maybe how you coach as a coach. If you take the time to really put the work in and perfect your craft, your ceiling's going to go higher and higher. So I want everybody to think about that. As you're finishing your week, as you're finishing your work week, and as you're thinking about the things you can do, next week or this weekend to prepare yourself and to kind of continue to build up what you're doing or put yourself in a better position in whatever it is you want to do with your life. How can you build your character? How can you do things on top of what's required to continue to improve? Are you going to be satisfied with the level of talent that you've been given? Or are you going to raise your ceiling with the amount of character you have, the type of person that you are, the amount of work that you're willing to put in? That's going to be something each and every one of you has to ask yourselves. I have to ask myself that every day. I have to ask my players that, the other athletes that I train, the things that I do with my business, the companies that I work with. I've got to ask everybody that I'm involved with what the answer to that question is. You have to ask that to yourself. Are you going to be satisfied with the floor, where your talent's at? Or are you going to try to raise your ceiling with the amount of character and the amount of work that you're willing to put in?